All right, let's do this. It is Wednesday, April 8th, 2026. So, ceasefire overnight, market jumps, and after a lot of chop, we did settle with a pretty straightforward bullish candle and a bullish close above the 50-day. Couple of things, in fact, there's a fair few things here. Firstly, two upside gaps got filled. We've hit the 50-day and he settled above it. We're clearly above the 200-day, of course. We now have a pretty gigantic downside gap all the way to 66.16. I got to think we're going to have some cooling at least to the 200-day, which is 66.55 evens right now. Red gap clearly on hold. This ceasefire jump kind of skews things, and it was a 6-day higher. RSI is 58, and that is not overbought. Momentum has accelerated to the upward side and zero sign of return. Clearly, even if Thursday's down, momentum will probably be still ticking upwards. So we might get a rollover even on Friday or far more viable next Monday, Tuesday. And clearly, at the current rate, we're gonna have momentum stay positive probably until at least late next week. And that assumes we get a rollover either tomorrow or Friday. So all of this bearish downside pressure, we're now 4 days positive, and we could go up for well into next week possibly. I think we're gonna get stuck tomorrow. My best guess is we open up tomorrow morning and we get stuck around here, 68.14, and then maybe we come back all the way to the 200 day, 66.55, or maybe Friday or Monday. I'm guessing Friday is there's a good chance that if tomorrow, I mean, ideally, this is something that's just occurred to me. Ideally, if we open up tomorrow, full downside reversal, and we close below today's open, which was 67.54. If we do that, we'd get a bearish engulfing candle, which would give me some pretty good confidence that Friday will get down to at least 66.55. So I think there's a realistic 170 point cooling wave here. And we've been up 6 days, right? We can't keep going up every day. There's got to be cooling waves along the way. Also note that the 10 MA, which used to be old resistance here, is now new support. So you see yesterday's spiky candle played out. But yeah, interesting day, huh? I dread to think how many people were heavy short and got really messed around by this jump. I normally wouldn't do it, but I want to highlight a few other indexes since it's on my mind. Nasdaq did get a black candle. That's bearish for Thursday night. Again, I expect Thursday to open up, but I would look for this black candle to play out. And we do have a big downside gap there to fill. Also, same for the Russell. Russell, black candle. We have a big downside gap to fill. The transports did not get one, and notably, transports actually broke a new historic high. That's probably the most bullish aspects about today. I don't know how many other people out there have even noticed, but that's, they call it the old leader for a good reason, and that is the most bullish chart today out there. New historic high. 71 RSI is overbought though, so I would note that one positive for the bulls, volume was up today. Pretty highest volume since maybe early March, which is it's a good sign for the bulls. VIX daily. Of course, we got a big gap down. We did fractionally got under the 20 threshold. Today's candle is actually a hollow red reversal, so we're closed slightly above the low. And I'm guessing, my best guess, early tomorrow, we do go down a bit in the early morning, maybe 20s, maybe even 19s, but then whipsaw back up. And we do have this big gap to deal with, right? You gotta think 24s looks pretty realistic before the weekend. Probably early Friday, realistically. Momentum is on the lower end now. So, yeah, that's a reversal that leans net bullish for Thursday. Bullish VIX, bearish equities. All right, let's fly through some individual stocks. I'm going to be fast at this. I almost fell asleep just 10 minutes ago. Look, most of these charts, well, not most of them, but a fair number are going to have black candles. Apple's up 2%. It did actually briefly have a black candle, but didn't settle that way. Black candle Archer. Yeah, most of the miners had big black candles, so that's bearish for Thursday. American Eagle. It's a black candle at the 200-day. First Majestic Silver. Not only did it not get a black candle, it actually had an all-out red close. That is terrible. That's a terrible downside reversal. That's ugly as hell. It's a bad sign. Of course, I've been saying for a while now, this is multi-week structure of a bear flag. Miners are bearish. AMD, that's a black candle. Amazon, black candle, tagged green gap, spiky from a 200-day, right? It's bearish. American Express, tagged the 50-day. A lot of stocks today hit the 50-day, and it's also legacy green gap, black candle. So I'm kind of, I've been babbling about green gap for the last 3 weeks. We did tag it, to my surprise, just today. So that's done. Black candle. In theory, maybe we can now roll over and break a new cycle low. Barrick Mining, black candle. Boeing, black candle from the 200-day and the 50-day. Bank of America, green gap filled. I should just edit that. So yeah, you see that's done with. Keep in mind, Bank of America's probably got earnings next, I don't know, sometime next week. But yeah, today's candle is black and green gap filled. In theory, again, clearly there's no sign of a turn yet, but black candle, black rock up 4.5%. It's a black candle from green gap just under the 50-day. This is where it's very prone to stalling. Black stone. Yeah, look at that. Another one. Another one. They're everywhere. Black candle, spiky from the 50-day. I have to be bearish. Private equity, private credit. All of these companies are in trouble. All of them. Caterpillar, nothing bearish there. Pretty straightforward hammer candle, and my God, it's pretty close to a new historic high. So that's one notable strength for the bulls. Kamiko, that's a black candle at the 50-day. Carnival, black candle at the 200-day and the 50-day. Look at the spike. Look at the spike. That's a bearish sign. We have a big downside gap to 25s. Cleveland Cliffs, black candle. Coinbase, again, actually settled red. That's a lousy performance. And you could even start to wonder if we have a little head and shoulders here. Right? Left shoulder, I guess you could say double head, and then a right shoulder, but it ain't bullish, right? This is horrible. Bearish for crypto. Deckers, up 6%. There's a little bit spiky candle today, but nothing particularly bearish. Disney, again, nothing bearish there. Straight up 3.5%. Next resistance is around 100/101. Black candle for Endeavor. Ford, it's pushing against for 200-day. Nothing bearish there yet. Freeport, that is a black candle. Yep. The Google, of course, black candle. Home Depot, up 5.5%. Nothing bearish there, just a straightforward jump. I'm still midterm bearish though. Heckler, black candle. Intel, I mean, look at this. This is this is wildly insane. 11.5%. What's the justification for that? I mean, we were $40 a week ago on Monday. $40. It's 58. It's up roughly. It's up 45%. 45% in 6 trading. This is madness. I don't think hardly anybody's noticed this. It's up 45% in 6 days. This is lunacy. This is sheer and utter lunacy. RSI 72 overbought. Clearly, no black candle, no turn, no zero sign of a turn. Probably gonna be printing $60 tomorrow, right? Crazy. Joby, black candle. JP Morgan. That is a black candle. It's precisely on the open, 307.97. Green gap filled. Earnings next Tuesday. The KKR. All right. So I was stressing myself out today. I was watching KKR and United at the open, thinking, "My God, do I short this?" And I'm like, I've got all these little rules in my head spinning around, saying, "Can't do that. Can't short that. Want to short it?" I mean, KKR, to be quite clear, specifically for KKR and United Airlines, they were absolute shorts from the open. I was sitting there doing a live space thinking, hey, look at this. Look at where it's stalled. It's stalled at green gap. It's stalled at the top of the bear flag, and it is a bear flag. It's stalled at the 50-day. And it closed 93.96. Oh yeah, that's a black candle. So my hope, and is it a hope? My hope is that Thursday opens a little bit higher, 94s, 95s, and I'll short it. Basic target would be to come back down to around $90. So maybe I can short it from 94, 95 down to 90. That's a trade that. That doesn't even assume the flag starts to play out, and that is a big bear flag. It's a very nice one. Cyclically, we're on the higher end. We've been on the higher end for a couple of weeks actually. I would note that today's volume was up, kind of reflective of the main market. Also, yesterday's candle was a hollow red reversal, so that played out. So bullish yesterday. Today's candle was bearish, but again, I'm thinking that we do have a pretty good chance that we might have initial upside on Thursday. And if I do short tomorrow morning, I would look to hold into Friday. That's the aim. Moving on. Kinder Morgan reversal candle from the 50-day. Don't care about that. Don't care about Meta. Don't care. Microsoft. This isn't pretty. This is weak. This is very weak. So yes, they had a reversal candle that did play out upside. But look at this. We have a black candle from this big price threshold, which has been, remember, look, that was the floor. It was the floor then. Now it's resistance. If you're super bearish, this is exactly what you want to see in these big techs. So in theory, now we want to see, again, maybe Thursday will open up a little bit, but nothing above that. And then we take out 356, preferably before the end of the month. And yeah, I'm well aware that if you're super bullish, like for Tom Lee, target would be green gap starting at 438, and that's a long way up. I mean, if this was to be hit, there's big money to be made on the call side. But that's a black candle. That's bearish for Thursday. Micron, black candle. Netflix, black candle. Nike, black candle. That's horrible. It's just garbage stock. Nvidia, black candle from the intersecting 50-day and 200-day. Target remains 150. Ondas actually settled down. Wow. Occidental, reversal candle. Pan American Silver, black candle from the 50-day. Palantir. Oh my God, look at that. Wow. That's a really ugly bearish engulfing candle. Settled down. Holy moly, that was down 6%. That's horrible. Again, original target is 100 here. My target. It's For the tech people, that's a massive red flag. I mean, somebody big was selling today. Look at the volume. Volume was double. The big money is selling Palantir. Somebody got the hell out of this one today. I don't know how many people out there noticed this. I'm guessing a few, of course. But yeah, that's a horrible chart on volume. Big money selling so they're selling into the rally. They got the hell out. Wow. PayPal don't care. Rocket Lab, black candle from the 50-day. SMR up 7%, but look, $9.86 is still horrible. Target 3%, nothing bearish there. For Tesla, horrible. Had an early high of 364, full downside reversal, settling down 1%. This is terrible relative to the main market. It's just like relentless grind down. Also today, did we get a death cross today? No, it's going to happen tomorrow. Tesla will get a death cross tomorrow when the 50-day goes on over 200-day. Bearish. Oh my god, this almost makes my heart just, I don't know, sink, or just not moderate despair. Again, this is what I was watching early morning. United Airlines opened up with a fractional break above this trend. I mean, it depends on how you draw it. I guess you could take it up a little bit higher, but that's a black candle with a spike from the 50-day, from the 200-day, from green gap, which has been filled. So we have quadruple resistance in United. So it had a high of 102.50, closed at 96.30, $6.20 down. I was got a short right at the top, but I'm like, it violated one of my rules. I'm like, I need to wait for various reasons. And look, my hope tomorrow is that it's up $2. I would be very happy to short it again if it's 98. Well, actually, I'd even settle for 97, 98 tomorrow. That'd be fine. And then we have a new downside gap to around $90. So, but that's a hell of a black candle at quadruple resistance. It's quite an incredible thing. Did we get to teal gap? I don't think so. Certainly not anytime soon, because this candle bodes absolutely bearish for Thursday, Friday. Again, my hope is that we do bounce a little bit early tomorrow so I can short it. Look at the volume. Big volume. You can even, I would actually argue they were selling. In fact, they were selling. There's no question about it. They were selling into the bounce, just like they were doing for KKR and Palantir and Tesla. They're getting the hell out. Clearly, if we close above, say, today's high of 102, then we could look for teal gap. But unless we go above 103, then teal gap's on hold, and we're net bearish for a day or two. Black candle uranium. United Health stuck around the 200-day. UPS, that's a black candle. No, it's not. It's yeah, just a gain. Exxon, yesterday's candle was a black doji, played out. We have today's candle is a hollow red reversal from the 50-day. That's bullish for tomorrow. So, all right, what else? I guess gold, silver, and oil, right? Right. GLD. I mean, if gains faded, $27, 0.6%, black candle. Look at the last one. Bam. You even have a black candle from it's just under the 50-day and a green gap. That ain't bullish. Silver should look exactly the same. Yep, black candle. Slightly, distinctly stronger, 2.3%, but you see they're selling. They were selling. They saw green gap. I don't know when this is going to get filled. Could be a long, long time. All right. What else? Net correction. Oil. We'll start with a daily in oil, in commodity oil. So we didn't actually have a black candle yesterday, but I did point out the fact that we had a lot of spiky candles from this area, and I mean, look, this is a monstrous decline because of the ceasefire news. $16.82, 14.9%, under the 10 MA. Horrible candle. And you can see we're a little bit spiky from 91.05, but momentum turned negative. Probably wants to go down for a couple of days. It's kind of one reason why I'm a little bit twitchy about being short equities, because if oil goes down, that would be inversely a positive for equities. Also note that from a cyclical perspective, we've maxed out from around the same height, and now we're bearish again, at least for a little bit. Let's go to USO, start with a daily. Yeah, today's candle is a hollow red reversal. Actually, firstly we filled three gaps. We filled red gap, purple gap, orange gap. We do have this little teeny one here, which was the remnants of this gap. Another hollow red reversal. I went long on this one. Last time I went long there. Made a nice trade. I'm not long. I'm not long this. I'm sitting it out. But in theory, my guess is actually if oil opens down early Thursday with positive equities, I would look for oil to reverse upwards and for equities to reverse downwards. Also, by the way, yeah, yesterday's candle was bearish engulfing, and that played out. So also note that negative momentum has turned negative. Volume was a bit higher. I mean, look at the volume, sustainably high. So even though it's cooled back a little bit, volume is like 2, 3, 4. I mean, today's probably what 6, 7, 8 times, 6, 7 times above where it used to be. This is a pretty hot ETF right now. So yeah, reversal candle, net bullish for Thursday, but I'm guessing we probably open a little bit down, unless of course, if there's some overnight war news. Oh, what do I want to end with? I'll go for a few of the microcycles. I talked about this in my 3 o'clock post on X earlier today. I went through all the different cycles, so we'll ignore the daily because we've already covered that. But on a 60-minute, I mean, you look at the closing hour. There's nothing bearish there. That leans kind of bullish for tomorrow. In fact, the upper Bollinger offers 68.31, which is 49 points up. I think we have a good chance at taking out today's high and then rolling over, coming down to at least. I mean, there's a big threshold here, 66.30. Do you think we can get down to here on Friday if the CPI data annoys the market, or if there's some war talk that the market gets upset with? Then we come back down to here. There's also a trend line that started from last week. This red gap is out of range in the near term. Also, cyclically, we're on the high end. So, you know, if you wanted to go short, that wasn't a great area. Yesterday wasn't a bad area relative to here, but now we're another wave up, and you think going short here tomorrow morning is a lot better than being short around there. So I think I might get involved if I want to have KKR and United Airlines up tomorrow to start with, then I'll look to short them. And on a 15-minute chart, which is something I also talked about in my 3 o'clock post on Space, you can see we cycled down across the day. We settled on the negative side. So if there's a little rally, a little early upside tomorrow morning, this will turn positive and it should roll over, maybe by 11 o'clock and then negative into early Friday. But from a cyclical perspective, this is not. This is one of the reasons why I couldn't go short. KKR. I mean, I guess I could have done it there, right? Really early on, but I don't know. I just didn't do it. I wasn't sure whether the market was just going to keep going or get stuck. But anyway, on a 5 minute, you can see relative to the morning, we've already cycled down. So the idea of going short here is not such a great idea. So I want to see a little burst higher tomorrow morning to maybe somewhere around here, and then roll over by 10 o'clock onwards. So interesting times, aren't they? So I think we're going to get upside early tomorrow, somewhere into the low 6,800s, maybe 30 points or so, maybe, and then roll over, and preferably have a nice swing lower and undercut today's open, and then get down to the 200-day on Friday. Now that's probably going to need a market that's going to be annoyed with CPI and pressured by maybe another couple of adverse news headlines. I mean, you can just argue though we're due a cyclical retrace, and also we haven't had one down day in 6 days. So, and of course tomorrow is a Thursday. Inherently, we know, and even other people have been pointing it out now recently, Thursdays do tend to be red. So again, opening positive, but I'm guessing we have a swing down. Um, it is definitely a biased outlook, but this candle, today's daily candle, supports that notion. A little bit higher, and then roll over. Could be a fun day. I mean, I'm going to hope for a candle like, I wasn't bearish engulfing, but it'd be great to get up to here and then bam. I mean, ideally, I mean, look, if we get to, I will say, if somehow we swung from around 6,800 and got down to say 6,650 or so, where the 200-day is, I would close out on Thursday for a couple of day trades. I wouldn't hold into Friday because what's the benefit? The risk is, do we just go down a touch more? Do we go up, or do we? I'll take a couple of green exits this week if I can get them, because I haven't had any this week. I've not done anything yet. At least I'm not losing money. There's that, right? I've not been short across any of this jump. But I do need to make some money. Sooner the better. Anyway, we'll leave it there. I will wish you a good evening, and here's to a turnaround Thursday. Give me a positive start, and then a really sharp downside reversal that carries across into Friday. I'm going to hope for that. Good night.